merry meet, and fare thee well. Settle in for a story with me, Astin Gaël. Thank you so much for being here today. This is your every other day collective message for June the 10th. Happy hump day. You are halfway through the week. If you work a 9 to 5 and you get the weekends off, just 2 more fucking days of work. All right. If you haven't seen the news, go check the shorts feed. There is a notice for all of my LGBTQI members. Everything else you need to know is in the description box down below. If you find yourself benefiting from any of the messages shared here, or you just feel like I'm very entertaining and more people should see these videos, be sure to give this one a thumbs up, the channel a subscribe, and if you feel called, say hello in the comments. I promise I don't bite. Unless you ask me to. Consent first, right? All right, we are working our way through What There Is to Love About a Man. I found this on the shelf of a thrift store at the very beginning of my systems transition, and I have been reading through it ever since to help me understand that there are aspects of masculinity that are incredibly powerful and sexy. So, we read an excerpt each day and we try to create a short story around it. Today's theme is noises. It's that thing he does with his sinuses that really gets our attention. Part throat clearing, part nose blowing, and part mating call of elephants. It reverberates through the bathroom and you can hear him approaching for miles. He clicks and clucks and tickles his tongue against the roof of his mouth and the back of his throat and cracks his knuckles and toes in a torrent of timpani. Snap, crackle, pop. He's a master at self-chiropractic. He burps in baritone like a barbershop quartet. And he can still hold his own with that underarm blatting in the swimming pool. His snoring is a cacophonous symphony of snorting and snuffling with weaseling and whistling thrown in just for show. How he hacks and hiccups through hay fever season. How he gurgles and gargles post-garlic. His repertoire ranks with the truly fantastic, but the best noise of all is when he's wildly ecstatic. I talk in my sleep, I know that, but I don't think I snore. Although my partner says that I do sometimes, and it's more like I don't know. He says it's very soft, like a mouse snoring. He's a lot more like a freight train, a bear. Noises, noisy. I gotta go to the deck of plenty, because plenty of song lyrics. Making noise. So I don't like to assume that bad things are gonna come forth, but it does seem like if we're talking about making noise, that's kind of like one-sided beef energy, isn't it? Somebody just making noise. All right, somebody is making noise about body image. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, right now, you are not protected from this noise. I don't necessarily think you need to protect yourself. It's reminding me of this video that I watched I don't know. I watched a video on smear campaigns, and it was a compilation of several different videos, and there was a lady kind of responding to this compilation of videos about smear campaigns. And the general consensus is that the answer to a smear campaign is to not answer. People will try to attack the way that you look. They will try to attack your character. They will try to attack your business. And the best response is no response. Possibly you throw out some blocks, left and right on social media if you can get a sense of exactly which accounts the hate is possibly coming from. But even that, it's just like, well, they'll just make a new account. So the best response is no response. But at the same time, you don't really want to just be like letting that energy into your space. So, putting up some protection wards and or, praying some protection prayers before you go to bed, it can't hurt, even if it doesn't help, it can't hurt. So this coming up final quarter moon, this past quarter moon is when the last, attack was sent forth. And I think maybe that was the moment that your defenses were kind of down. Maybe since you have, renewed your protection or caught on to the attack. But this past final quarter moon was the last attempt. And that's the thing about a smear campaign is like, this is ongoing, like even if they take a break for a couple of weeks, if they are working with the moon cycles, they're at it again, they're at it again, just as soon as you think that they're done. All right, so who is making noise about body image? Well, yeah, obviously somebody that does not operate in strength. 933 on the timer as I said that. So somebody who they have finished a cycle, they've experienced that death and rebirth opportunity maybe once, maybe twice. but it broke them. And because of that, they are a very weak-minded, weak-willed, and insecure individual. And I think that's probably one of the telltale signs of somebody being very weak-minded and insecure, is that they do go for body image first. Because someone that has truly just, done the death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth over and over and over again until they really get to the core of themselves. Not only do they come out stronger and stronger each time that they attempt this, but the concept of someone's body image being something that would, break them is long gone to somebody that has killed off their ego that many times. Because not even their ego, which, is still intact, by the way. When I say kill off one's ego, in my perception, what that really means is getting your demons in check, making sure that that shadow side of you operates in friendship and union with that light side of you, making sure that, the need to take care of oneself and look good is more about that making you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Not, I need to look good so that I receive external validation from people around me, and then feel good. No, you just like looking in the mirror when you look good, and that makes you feel good about yourself. And then when you feel good, you are empowered to go make others feel good. That's not what happens to people who get broken after going through one or two cycles and then giving up, allowing themselves to stagnate. Okay, so speaking of blocking, you may have caught on to this person and just recently blocked them. Yeah, the mood at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, you put a death to that. And I want to say that when I said you're not protected, maybe it's because you feel that you don't need to be protected anymore. I have also watched many a video on the concept of the Sophia empath. And it's from the Gnosticism belief, and very interesting stuff there. I highly recommend perusing through the videos on the topic here on YouTube if you find yourself interested. But when one begins to embody Sophia at the quote unquote final stage, when you are a full Sophia empath, you have gotten to the point where you no longer say prayers of protection over yourself, because you know that even putting out the emissions of energy that you need protection, that's like a beacon for the archons, which in the esoteric world is essentially the dark spirits, the malevolent entities, or, the things that live inside people here on this world that are trying to attack people's body image on social media, etc., etc. Um, you don't even ask for protection from your guides and deities anymore, because a Sophia level empath in their fullest has figured out how to go ghost. So you can travel through the astral realm like without even being noticed. My neck shifted as I said that. Your central nervous system in your meat suit has found a state of equilibrium to the extent that you're no longer emitting these attack me signals that the dark entities prey on. They thrive on people that are essentially loud. Their energy is loud. You have learned how to quiet your energy. So, kudos, congratulations. That is hard to do. It takes a lot of self-soothing, really. So since you're working with your guides less and less, what is it that they want from you right now? Okay, the Eight of Swords upright. The Eight of Wands in the reverse. The Chariot in the reverse. The High Priestess in the reverse. A jawbone, okay? Yeah. The Hermit in the reverse. And the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so you're in your head about speaking out on these kinds of attacks. You are kind of in an internal battle with yourself about coming out with your story, with your truth. Your guides want you to move forward with this. They feel like you have done the work. Go see the reading from the 8th about integration, about fully processing past memories and being able to see them in their full complexity, not from such a narrow lens. you are in your head about still perceiving the world and people around you and these entities through a very narrow-minded lens, and your guides are like, but that's not your lens anymore. You see things in a lot broader manner than most people, and definitely than former versions of yourself. So what are you gonna do about it? There's a project, there's something that you are meant to do. And honestly, that's probably one of the reasons these insecure people are trying to smear campaign you, because they don't do that to people who aren't important. This isn't my words. This is the words that I received from listening to that video. People don't try to attack someone's character, make them look less valuable, knowledgeable, etc., if they don't feel threatened by them. Like, they don't put that much energy in someone that isn't doing things, that isn't going to incite change. They only do this to people that they feel threatened by. So maybe you're up in your head a little bit about, whether or not you can actually endure these people attacking you. And I mean, valid, absolutely valid. But being in your head is keeping you from being able to receive the downloads necessary from your guides and deities. So yes, you have reached the point that you no longer need to pray to them for protection every single time you hear something go bump in the night. But no, you haven't exceeded the need for guidance. I don't think that any of us are meant to get to that place while we're still here on Earth. There is meant to be a higher self or a ancestor, guide, or deity, leading us along the whole time. And we've got to be able to hear them. All right, final messages. Also, Four of Cups. If you are not tapped in, you're not able to hear the opportunities, the divine intervention. That was also mentioned in the reading from the 8th. So the reading from a couple of days ago might resonate with you as well. What's this opportunity? The Magician, the Herkimer Diamond in the reverse, and the Knight of Coins in the reverse. So there's an opportunity to alchemize there's an opportunity to alchemize the negative energy being sent your way into power, fuel, abundance. Yeah, very specifically abundance that comes in not quickly, but consistently. And if you're not tuned in, if you're not listening, that opportunity will slip by. Or, you're gonna allow the negativity to hit you rather than transmuting it. And, their aim is then complete. their aim is to break you. I found it very interesting to hear so many people's opinion on the subject of smear campaigns and how many people truly believe that the end result, the goal, is to get the target to themselves. I guess I can't fathom wanting that so badly for somebody else. I have struggled with ideation since I was, I don't know, 7 years old, something like that. And I wouldn't give this to my worst enemy. Like, I wouldn't want the person who has hurt me the most to spend the amount of time I have spent sitting on a bathroom floor wondering whether or not I deserve to live. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. So the concept of actively sending energy meant to make somebody feel that way so that you can win your little game. I don't know what must be in a person's heart and soul and mind to make them do that. But it's quite confusing to me, and I genuinely hope that they are able to find healing and peace, because it's gotta be a really miserable life that somebody lives, going around being that way. It is the 10th day of the month of June. If you are still in the closet because you are concerned about the smear campaign that might be run on you by people who call themselves friends and family, you are still valid in your identity. If you cannot tell anybody but yourself, but your deities, who you truly are, you are still that person. You deserve to be that person in its entirety. And I hope for you that you are able to break free from the chains that have been placed on you, keeping you from being that person. I see you. I love you. This is all I have for you today. Until next time, be well, be you.